Like I told you, I'm out today, so here's parts of an expression and combining like terms. We may have, and hopefully have, and maybe you were gone, I don't know, talked about all of these things, but just in case you haven't, let's go explore variable terms. So from this yellow box up here, this yellow box, we are going to identify all of the variable terms. Well, first of all, did you know that these are terms? That's a term, 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 that's a term. There are 6 terms. Wow. But now let's identify them. So a variable term, 9x is a variable term, 16x and negative x. 9x, 16x, negative x. From there, we're going to flow down into coefficients. Now, hopefully you get this idea. This is connected to this, and this is connected to this, right? Both of these are connected to this. So what are coefficients? They're the numbers next to a variable. So that guy, and that guy, and that guy. So we have 9, 16, and negative 1. Those are coefficients. And then over here to our right, flowing from the box, is constant terms. Those are the terms without variables. Okay, so we have, hang on, forgot my highlighter, negative 2, 8, and 10. Negative 2, 8, and 10. So from the 6 terms, it just so happens half of them are variable terms, half of them are constant terms. And then within that are the coefficients. Now, coefficients, it is the number next to a variable, okay? They are often constants, right? What is a constant? It's a term without a variable, but it's also like an exact number, like 8 is 8 little things, right? If I say I want 8 cookies, there they are. But if I were to say to you, hey, I want 8 boxes, well, that would be like saying 8x. And let's be honest, cookies come in different sizes of boxes, right? So I can't guarantee that I'm going to get 8 cookies, right? But I can guarantee I'll get 8 boxes because 8 is the constant part. Okay, so down here, you're going to identify variable terms, constant terms, and coefficients. So I did the first 2 in class. Here we go. Let's highlight some things here. Variable terms is that guy and that guy. Why are they the variable terms? Because they got letters. They have variables, terms with a variable. The constant terms, these constant terms, it's just 1 here. We just have negative 3. And then after that, we have the coefficients. Coefficients, it's going to be 8 and 2. 8 and 2. It's the number in front of the variable. Moving on down. Down here with the variable terms, there's x, there's negative 3x, x, and negative 3x. The constant terms, negative 12, he doesn't have a variable. 22 doesn't have a variable. And then the coefficients are going to be right here. There's a little invisible 1 there. Because how many x's do I have? I have 1. And then there's that one is way less invisible. It's negative 3. So here's what I plan on doing. I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 more of these to just say, hey, are you getting it? Do you feeling it? Do you understand it? And then I'm going to leave you alone to figure out the rest on your own. So let's go variable terms. And one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch to just a color black. Instead of doing all this color coding right now, I'll do what you do, which is, write in like pencil or pen or something like that. So variable terms, well, there's x, y. That's a variable term. Negative 2xy, that's a variable term. Constant terms, negative 12 and 9. And then now coefficients, 1 and negative 2. Where am I getting that from? There's an invisible 1 right here. I'm going to make it really thick so that you can go, oh, yep, there's 1 xy. In fact, what's an xy? That's an xy. And then this is the negative 2 part. Okay? Okay. Down here, number 8, m is a variable. 7mn is another variable. Negative m, that's a variable. 12 is a constant. So now over here, we are asking, okay, well, what are the numbers out in front of the variables? Well, here we have 1. Here we have 7. Here we have negative 1. And if you're looking at this going, I don't see a 1. Well, there is an m there, isn't there? And there is a negative there, so I must have negative 1 of them. If it was negative 2, well, it would say like negative 2m, right? Right. I think you got it from there, right? Let's flip to the back, combining like terms. So let's take a pause and talk about simplifying. You are going to be simplifying. And the reason that I've highlighted that is because maybe you've only thought about it when it comes to fractions, but now we can actually simplify algebraic expressions. I don't really like that little loop there. Let's do this. We can simplify algebraic expressions. That's much better. And how do you do that? By combining like terms. So this means if you've got common variables, you combine them. If you have constant terms, you combine them. So check it out. This is a variable. That is a common variable. So is that one. How are they common? Well, they all three have x's. So like 9x, positive 16x is right there. Negative x right there. If you have trouble doing this in your head, which is this in your head, write it out, okay? 9x plus 16x is 25x. We're going to end up with, we simplify to 24x, right? Now, our constant terms, that guy and that guy and that guy. Why are they constant? They don't have variables. So again, if you have trouble doing this in your head, which is fine if you have trouble, you just be sure to write it out. Negative 2 plus 8 is 6, plus 10 is 16. So here we go. Plus 16. Why is it plus 16? Because this is positive, right? I mean, so is that, but we usually don't write a positive in front, right? None of these, like this is positive 12, but we don't write it that way, right? So there we go. Now let's simplify each of these expressions. I'm pretty much going to do a handful of these, but I really want you to get the practice. So here we go. We have 4p, oops, switch to the pen, 4p plus 8p, that's 12p. That 10 is a constant term. He's got no other like terms. We're done. So I kind of announced in class that the hardest part about this was knowing when you're done, having the final answer. Well, looking at both of these, the reason I say that is because some of y'all might have combined this to be 40x. We can't do that. We don't know how much is in this box. So we know we have 24 boxes, and we know we have 16 cookies. So that's all I can say. Right here, I have 12p, whatever that stands for, 12 pennies, 12 boxes of pennies, and then 10 pennies. I don't actually know how many pennies are in these boxes, so I can't keep going. I'm done right here, okay? Okay, 13. We have a variable term, another variable term. We got that. We have a constant. We have another constant. Again, if you have trouble doing this in your head, write it out, and it would be negative 5. So here's our answer, negative 3a minus 5. Let's keep going down the line. We have x and 4x and negative 8x. Those are all three common. We have 1x plus 4x minus 8x. That's 5x minus 8x. That's negative 3x. Negative 3x. And then that 4 just drops down. That whole thing just drops down to give us negative 3x plus 4. Okay, we did those three. Let's jump down and maybe do the bottom three. So here we go. Negative 12. Oh no, that's a constant. No big deal. Let's just find the other constants. Negative 12 plus 5 plus 3. This is negative 7 plus 3. That's negative 4. If you want to put them out front, if you don't want to put them out front, okay, I don't care. Negative 6x, negative 11x. Negative 6x minus 11x. That's a negative 17x. So whether you write it like this, or if you write it like this, that's the same thing. I'm good. We good. Here we go. A minus 3b. Well, that's not A. Plus 5c. Well, that's not A. 4a. So we have A plus 4a. That's 5a. He doesn't have any friends. There are no other B's here. He doesn't have any friends. There are no other C's here. We're done. 10d plus, well, that's not a D. Negative 14d. 10d minus 14d, that's negative 4d. Look, a 5 and a negative 12. I can combine those to get negative 7. And then this guy, I'm just going to bring him down plus 5f. I'm done with that. So I think you can do the rest of these. If you got questions, please reach out. Don't just sit there and freak out. If you need to write things down, write them down, okay? See ya.